their names first, so like their last name. So I'm going to make me in your system just for the purposes of training today. So you have to take their last name to make sure that nobody else is popping up, so you're not duplicating a patient, right? So nobody else is there, so then you're going to go add patient here at the bottom, and then you want their first name, last name. You have to change their gender. This is more if you want to change it or not. You can leave it as single. That's more up to you. Birth date you need.
Oh, you're young. Holy moly.
Let me see. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Ooh, young mom.
Yeah, you got a milk going on, eh? Now I caught that on camera. Whoops.
Alright, so basic information you need to send a claim and for you to contact the patient. So you want their first name, last name, put their gender, birthday is for claims, you need their phone number, and their address is for claims.
What about the billing type and then the primary provider? Maybe we should change that, right?
So primary provider needs to stay floss because of billing. Remember, when you go to send the claim, you needed to change
it manually to the patient, to the provider.
Yeah, otherwise it'll just give a random provider.
Oh, whoops. I've been changing them all to FAR on my patients.
Well, that's fine. But if they were to see
my patient,
your patient, then they have to make sure that they change it to their name, or else it's going to go under your certificate.
Okay.
And the check
and then I'll get
We always do. With the other one too, we always change
we don't need floss 1, floss 2, floss 3 anymore.
It's just gonna be in the names.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easier.
Yeah.
Billing type is always just standard account.
Right.
Standard.
So it'll automatically default to standard account. And then you can change the provider, like I said, just make sure that you're changing when you send the claim. If somebody else sees your patient, that it's getting changed. Otherwise, it'll go under the wrong person. So for now, we'll put as Farah. Okay. So now this is to make the appointment. So see, it's saying up here at the top, edit appointment. So this is where you can add codes in for your appointment, or you can just write a note. Because I know Farah likes to write like 3-month recare or 6-month recare. So this is where you would write that. And this is also where you'd set how much time you need. So each
that's
square.
Where it is.
Yeah.
I was trying yesterday. I'm like putting in the time length, and I was like, that didn't do anything.
Each square is 15 minutes.
Okay.
So the further you pull it down, it'll change your time, right? So let's say I want to set an hour, and it's going to be my 6-month recare. These buttons here, you can click them, and it'll drop the codes in already for you to attach to the appointment. You don't have to do it; it's up to you. But it's just a little bit easier. So there's already codes there, but you can change the codes. It doesn't mean that that's concrete what you're doing at that appointment, right? So now anything in gray, like if I click this, now it's white, so it won't attach to the appointment. But if it's in gray, it will attach to the appointment.
So you always have to attach codes to an appointment.
Yeah. In order to complete and have something on their file. So now my appointment's there, and I'm added in the system. So that was double clicking on the time that I'm booking. The other option is you go to select patient, and then you do the same thing. You type the name, and then you do add patient. If you're adding like a whole family, you can do add many, and it'll give you 2 adults and then a bunch of children slots. And then that way you're only typing the address in once and whatever, it'll just give you all the same information.
That's if you're adding
for the same person.
a new patient family.
Yeah, the whole family, yeah. If you're adding like a single person, then you just do add patient.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, I noticed if I add a family member on already patient, that's pretty easy as well.
Yeah, so if I go into my file here, so now the black line is around my appointment, and my name's up here. So that's how you know you're in that person's file. So now if I go to family, this is where all my information is stored, and this is where you can add family members as well. So let's say now later on my husband decides to come, then I would add him from here.
So then you just press the add button.
So you go add family member.
Perfect.
And then you would do the same thing.
Yep.
You put his name, his birthday.
Yeah.
If the address is the same, you can have this checked off.
Great.
And you put his phone number. and then it would add him into the system. I just don't want to add too many people into your system.
But I was working on that last night. I had my niece, and I was like, how do I do this? And I figured it out.
And then also in family is where you would set up their insurance information. So you just do here with the little umbrella, add insurance, and it's going to ask if this patient is a subscriber. So if my husband was a subscriber, I would click no, and then I'd have to put his information in. It would prompt me for that. But for this purpose, we'll go through yes first. So yes, I'm the subscriber, and this is the box here. So carrier, so let's say I'm Manulife, and then my plan number. If they're on a different fee guide and you're only going to charge on that fee guide, you can change the fee schedule. So like if it's an ODSP or Healthy Smiles person, you want to change it so that their fees are always coming up. Because this will override your provider fees. Because providers are all set to the current year at 2018.
So you'd have to change it manually.
Yeah, but if you change it here, then it's going to go by what's here.
Okay, that's good.
So if they're ODSP, you would change it to the ODSP fee guide so that it loads ODSP fees. And then you want your subscriber ID. And then if they have assignment of benefits and you're collecting here at the office, you want to make sure this is checked off. And then this box here, if you double click into it, this is where you can change what they're covered at. So if they're only covered at 80%, then you can change it to 80%. If they're covered at 80 for x-rays and routine preventative, which would cover your cleanings, but then resto and endo and all that, they're maybe only covered at 75. So you can change it. You can also change individually. This box here just lets you change for this whole group at once if it's all the same, or you can change them individually. You put the maximum, individual or family. Most of the time it's individual.
Where would you put deductible?
Right.
Oh, perfect.
So let's say it's $25 per person, but $50 for the family. So the system will calculate that. So once two people have paid $25, it won't calculate deductibles into it anymore. Up here changes the benefit year. So if it's January to December, you want calendar checked off. But let's say my insurance starts in April, renews in April, then you put the month number, and then it'll show April after. This is Bite Wings. So there's different options. You can do every blank years, blank number per years, or every blank months. So usually Bite Wings are covered by months. So you change this and then you put whatever number it is. So let's say it's covered every 9 months, then I put 9.
Okay.
Pan is usually covered like every 2 or 3 years. Exams are usually covered every something months, right?
Okay.
If you have ortho, same thing.
Perfect.
Then you can add any like additional notes here, like how many units they have. You can write them down then there. So let's say 14 units. Right? And then if I click OK, then that note will go there. And then if I click OK again, like I'm done with her insurance, then it'll drop it here. So now all my percentages are here, my service year is April, how, like, when I'm covered for my Bite Wings and exams, and then my extra notes are down here in red to make sure. So it doesn't count units, the system won't count units, you have to count the units.
That's okay.
So if I get 14 units, you just have to look back and see, or just book them based on how many units they have, right?
So now let's maybe set complete.
The appointment. So you can set the appointment complete from 2 areas. You can either do it from the schedule by right-clicking on the actual appointment and doing set complete, or you can do it from chart. Do it from chart if you're going to be changing the codes. If the codes that you already dropped in is what you're going to charge, so let's say I'm not changing these, then you can just complete it from the schedule. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to be changing codes, then go to chart first, change the codes, and then right-click on the appointment here and set complete.
No.
Okay. So now they're complete. So once it's complete, then you can go to accounts. So the money, is where you're going to either collect your payments or send claims from. So you go to account, and now all the codes that we did today have been dropped into the account, right? So then same kind of idea, anything that's marked in gray is what's going to be sent. So if I only wanted to send this, let's say I did the fluoride, but I can't charge for it, but I want the code to sit in there anyways to show that I did fluoride, then I'm only going to highlight my units and my polishing, okay? So you just highlight by dragging, you click and drag, and then you do new claim. So umbrella is always insurance. So you do new claim, and then this pops up. So your big thing that you're going to want to watch out for right now is billing and treating provider. So they always need to be the same. So right now it's saying Floss and Farah, so that's wrong. It won't send the claim. You need to make it be the same. So it needs to be Farah and Farah, or Dovey and Dovey, or Dominica and Dominica, right?
Okay.
So you want to change that. So now they're both Farah. And then you just want to check and make sure, because this is like your last step before sending it to the insurance, you want to make sure you're sending what you want to send, that it's all right. Because then you can just cancel and change something if you need to.
And
at
if
this
you
point.
need to change any codes, like with prices, you can just go back, double click on the procedure, and just change the price.
The price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just make sure, so this is right, this is what I want to send, and then you would click send.
And then if the
And then it
patient
would
doesn't
submit.
have an electronic billing, then you would
You would just click print,
print.
and then it'll print the claim
Yeah,
form. Like,
it's over there.
Like this, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
then
print.
They
Yeah,
have
it's
to sign.
different. It's the one I see always in dental
Exactly.
offices. Yeah.
This is just a standard CVA
Standard,
form,
yeah,
right?
okay.
So they just need to sign here,
3
here,
spaces.
and here,
Okay.
and you have to sign where it says office verification.
Oh, okay.
And then when it prints out,
It already has all the information and codes.
so this one, the billing provider wasn't changed to whoever the
I
provider
see.
was. So
Okay.
it was left on Floss. So that's why it says Floss and Gloss. But if you change it like this says Farah, so this would say Farah Sheikh on here, and her unique number would be at the
Right.
top.
I was gonna say that's the most important point.
Oh, so I didn't. Oops.
You can just write it.
Yeah.
No crying. So, do you guys
I do-
any charting here? Of like,
Well, I did before you get into that. Yeah, we do. But I do want to go over the whole attaching the appointment from the chart, like attaching procedures. I'm a little confused about that.
So
Let's say we don't have those default codes in there, you know?
So I'll book myself again at 4, and I'm not gonna put any codes in here. I'm just gonna put like, I'll just say whitening. Okay. So I'm not gonna put anything in, even though there's stuff here. I don't want to. So I'm gonna do okay.
Just in case you don't know what you're gonna bill, or you know.
So now my appointment is there. So let's say I finished my appointment now, but now Farah needs to add in what she did on the appointment. So she's going to go to chart, and then up here in this box is type procedure code.
Oh, okay.
So then you can,
654, yeah, whatever.
so you just type whatever code. Oh, whitening ones. I don't know why it's prompting for this, but it doesn't really matter. And then you can type however much you're going to charge.
200.
And then your provider is Farah that did it, so that's fine. So then I'm going to do okay.
And
But
this
it's
is a
just in white, and it's not attached anywhere. See how this appointment has codes attached to it, but this appointment doesn't have any codes. So I want to attach this whitening to this appointment.
Okay.
So you double click the appointment, and then click the code so that it's in gray now, right? And then I do okay, and now it's been attached.
Okay.
And then same thing, you just right click the appointment and set complete. Because if you notice here it says TP, that means treatment planned. That means you haven't set it complete yet. It's just treatment that is pending in the patient's file. So you need it to say C for it to drop into account so you can charge or send to the insurance. Then you right click and set complete. So now it has a C, and now if I went to account, now that code is there as well. Also, when you're in account, if you want to see, because right now all the codes are together, right? but we didn't send this code to the insurance. So if you clicked the claim once, it'll show what codes are actually attached to that claim. So whitening, you usually have to get payment from the patient separately, right? So you don't want it attached to the claim. You want it to show like this. And then now I'm going to collect payment from the patient for this whitening. So patient payment is just this with the money sign. So you do payment, and then you put how much they're paying. And then you can choose on the side here how they're paying. Is it Visa, MasterCard, cash, debit, whatever, right? So let's say I paid Visa. And then if you notice here though, this is the part that's a little more, you have to actually look at it. So right now, it's applying this $200 payment to 00514, which is not what we want. We want it applied to the whitening. Okay? So you're going to delete this split so it comes out of there. And you're going to choose what you're applying this payment to from this side. So that I want the whitening. So I'm going to click whitening and pay. And now this amount and this amount have to match in order for it to let the payment go through. And then you do okay. And now the payment's there. So green is payments that come in. Red is a claim that you're waiting for payment from the insurance still. And then once the payment comes in, this will turn orange.
And it even says waiting to send. Or it'll say sent.
If you actually clicked send or print, then it'll say sent. But because I didn't click send or print, I just clicked OK, it thinks I never sent the claim. Because I didn't print a claim form off to send to the insurance, nor did I try and send it electronically.
So then how to add a payment, that part I didn't do, so...
For this?
No, for how you attached the whitening to that payment and made sure it was 200, so I gotta be careful there.
Yeah, you just want to make sure. Otherwise, it's gonna apply it to the 4 units, and then when you get the insurance check,
it's gonna your numbers won't match.
There's gonna be like extra money attached to those units, right? And then it's gonna look like this has never been paid. So see now it says patient paid $200. And then these will say patient portion because it thinks there's no payment pending yet, right? So it's just calculating based on what it thinks is coming in right now. So it'll say.
So you have to attach the code to the payment. Like you gotta attach the procedure to the payment. That's something I need to do because I wasn't doing it before.
They didn't used to do that, Open Dental. It's a new feature that they put in now with their new updates. It is more.
It's easier on the accounts.
It's more work for you to do initially to make sure you're applying it where it needs to go, but it's better afterwards because then you know, okay, this got paid, but this didn't get paid.
Yeah, less
you know
confusion.
What I mean? Yeah. So it'll apply it where it needs to go.
Okay.
Right. For the purposes of just showing you, I'll show you how to put payments in for the insurance, but then I'll take it out.
Okay.
I can remove it afterwards. So let's say now this claim came in the mail, so now I need to put in what was paid by Manulife for this claim. So you're going to double click the claim, and then you're going to highlight your codes and do enter payment by procedure. And then so under this part here, insurance paid. So I have a deductible that I put in for me, so I'm going to put $25 deductible here. And then
it's a lot of steps to put a payment in.
Because you have to do each separately.
Yeah, it has to go by code.
I wasn't doing that, and I put in a bunch yesterday.
Oh. Well, you can do it as a complete total and just put in the total check number. This just puts it to the code so you know what was getting paid by the insurance. Because like let's say you sent polishing and for whatever reason it was too early to send the polishing.
Right.
Then now you'll know because when you look back you'll see, oh, they didn't pay the polishing last time even though I sent it. So I can send it this time because now they'll pay it because now it's past that time, right? But you can put it in as, it's up to you. You can put it in as a total payment. It's whatever you feel like doing. But usually I do it by procedure just so you can see exactly
I'll do that from now on.
So like now it says 206 is what was paid. This is what was paid for this. This is what was paid for this. This is what was paid for that. So then, now I would finalize the payment, and this is where I put the check number. That's coming from Manulife.
Oh, even check number.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's optional to put the check number, but I put it because sometimes I have to go back and look for a check for some reason.
Okay.
So at least I know who was on the check already, because it all groups it by the check number. You do okay. Okay. So now see, this is, oh, it's like brown. Not orange, but brown.
Brown. It looks red for me still from
Okay.
here. That's fine.
So it's like brown now, and now there's an insurance.
Maybe
payment.
we'll change the color.
I can see if we can change it. I'm not sure if we can.
Okay, but that's, yeah,
we'll
we'll wait.
see.
Now, in regards to, because sometimes we'll do write-offs, like bad debt, we put it under bad debt
Yeah.
for accounting purposes. So then how could we make that adjustment? Like, let's say that we're not going to collect the $66.81 from you. That shows the estimated balance.
Yeah. So then you would go adjustment.
Okay.
So this plus minus here, adjustment. And then I'm going to put $66.81. And then I'm going to subtract
Yeah.
those bad debts.
I put that bad debt in.
And then you do okay.
She just needs to pacifier.
And now it shows my balance is 0.
Okay. That's what I've
The
been
adjustments are in blue.
doing.
Payments are green. And then you have the insurance claim.
Oh, okay, Missy.
So, see, because I put it in by procedure. Now I put the payment in by insurance, right?
Sorry?
I put the payment in by procedure.
Yeah.
So now it shows insurance paid $165 for this code, and this is what's left over.
Okay.
Instead of doing like by the total, if you do the total, it'll just show these as blank. It won't show insurance paid, insurance paid, insurance
Yeah,
paid.
so it won't show the breakdown. It'll
Yeah.
just show.
It'll just show one payment.
Okay. So it's good to enter how much you've received per code.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the payment out now because I don't want
Sure.
it showing in your
Yeah.
in your system.
What'd you write? Received?
Not received.
Oh, yeah.
Right now they show as received because I did enter payment,
Yeah.
but I won't be able to take that payment out unless I put it as not received. Change this one to percent.
Now, we do have support with Open Dental, so anytime you do have questions, don't
Okay.
hesitate to
And
call.
it's a US
Because I am,
number, right?
yeah, I am paying
'cause
for
I-
support too per month, so we have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they have the 1-800 number. That way you're not always calling. Like long distance.
I have free
to the
long
US.
distance, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, if you
'Cause
don't.
I don't have.
Okay, then
That's
we
why
need
for
to-
me last time I called and my husband was like, "Did you call US?" I was like, "No." He was
Oh,
like, "Yeah, you
shoot.
did." But luckily, my computer actually it's a